Thank you for that introduction. And I'll tell you, it's a pleasure to be here today to speak in particular about our commitment to make sure that government remains accountable. The foundation of accountability is transparency. The result of accountability is trust. And frankly, we have not seen transparency out of the Biden administration. And as a result of that, we do not see trust from the American people in our government. That needs to change. We in the Republican conference in the House of Representatives are dedicated and committed to seeing that government is accountable, and we are dedicated to make sure that this government remains transparent so that the American people can trust what is happening here. And frankly, I'm proud to be part of a team whose leadership abides by the principles of never quit and no excuses. And you see that in the 7 months that we've been in charge of this House of Representatives. So much has been done to bring government to account. I serve on Judiciary, Education, Workforce, and Foreign Affairs, and almost all of our hearings have been dominated by the fact that we have to hold our government accountable in the executive branch. We would love it if it were not so, but it is so because they refuse to be transparent. Whether or not it's because of the lack of transparency or the unwillingness to follow the same rules that they impede and they impart on the American public, or the fact that they move the goalpost and create different rules for themselves over and over again for those who are loyal to the Biden administration and to the leftist agenda that they're pushing. It's inconceivable that's happening here in America. Just in the last month, in those three committees that I've served on, we've seen a number of examples where Biden administration officials have gone out of their way to make sure that they do not show transparency in what's going on. Just a couple weeks ago, I asked questions of former Secretary Kerry, now Climate Czar Kerry, trying to figure out questions as simple as, who's on your staff? And he won't answer. Or where are you setting the priorities in your discussions with the CCP? And instead of answering those questions directly, he defended the CCP and Communist China and defended the climate policies that are burdening American businesses day in and day out. And then you look at Secretary Mayorkas and what he did this week in Judiciary, refusing to answer several questions and refusing to admit that there was loss of operational control at the border, refusing to give any indication about how many of the millions of individuals that have come over the border in the past couple of years under the Biden administration have now actually gone through an adjudication process and been sent back to their homeland, refusing to give answers, dodging every question he could because he did not want to remain accountable. FBI Director Christopher Wray, just a few weeks ago in Judiciary, wouldn't answer questions about why the Department of Justice has been weaponized against the American public and why they are living by a two-tier system of justice. One for the Biden administration and those who would follow his principles, and one for the rest of us in America. I also serve on the subcommittee on responsiveness and accountability to oversight. And our job under that subcommittee is to pursue the government agencies that won't give us documents. We are Congress. We are the voice of the American people. We are supposed to look out for their interests. They have asked us to hold government accountable. And when we ask for documents, you know what happens? They don't. And when they give us documents, you know what happens? They're redacted. And we've seen it time and time again throughout our hearings this past 7 months. Our commitment to America remains strong. Our commitment to a government that is accountable. We will not be deterred. We will not relent. We demand on behalf of the American public a government that is accountable, and we will have it. Now, I'd like to introduce Congressman from Arizona, Mr. Juan Ciscomani.